Hey everyone, today we're here with Mark.
Hey guys.
And we're going to talk about an interesting topic about Gear Chronicle, and that is, do we run Irkab or do we run No-kab? Right? Which is correct, because there's been some discussions. Whether Irkab is required for the deck or not.
It is.
Okay, yeah, so spoilers, it is. But why? It's a lot of money to invest in some Irkabs. Why do we need just tell us what your thoughts on Irkabs are, Mark.
Yeah, so I think Irkab is sort of, we choose Irkab by kind of a process of elimination. If we look at the other choices that we have, so one of the things that people usually compare it with is Stroboscope.
Yeah. Stroboscope, yes.
They do a very similar thing. They both get rid of one card from your hand and then you get a card back. Irkab gets it in the form of a drive, which is better than just drawing it. You do triple drive when you're doing your
next stage. Yep.
So that's pretty similar to your G era, which is nice.
Yes, GG is the best.
That's correct. On the other hand, Stroboscope has a couple of issues. So first of all, you have to be on grade 4 to be able to actually get the draw, which means you don't get this effect until your game has
progressed.
Started. On the other hand, Irkab allows you to fix your hand, which is one of the biggest problems that we have with Gear Chronicle.
Yeah.
Most of your builds only play 4 grade 3s. And a lot of times when you're building a deck, one of the biggest thing you want to think about is how can I make sure that I maximize the chance of getting that grade 3. So on this aspect, I see that Stroboscope kind of falls into the win more category of cards, whereas Irkab allows you to hand fix and hopefully salvage a game that would otherwise be just gone.
Okay, that sounds good. And at this current stage of the meta, there is nothing really that we want to retire.
Yeah, that's correct. If we look into the future, when we move on to the next set, which is Silver
Dust,
Silver Dust, you have a bit more incentive to go into Stroboscope, running Stroboscope, because
this Igni Lord, the Kagura guy, it's really annoying.
Oh, is that the name?
Yeah, Igni Lord, yeah.
Okay.
You got the Volko for Link Joker. That can be
Link Joker, which is one of your, I guess, biggest threat that you actually want to retire. But as of now, in this next stage, set meta,
this stage, yes.
there isn't really any priority targets that we want to get rid of. So I think because of that, Stroboscope also kind of has its value drop down a little bit.
I guess there is one that is Smokey a Dragon, right?
Mirror match.
The mirror match. So okay, another topic around Chronojet decks is Force 1 or Force 2. If we look at the other Force decks that were released in the next stage set, like Altamal and Neo Nectar, they both can kind of run both within the game, just based on the situation. But with Chronojet, it's a bit different. You don't have that versatility. And
yeah, you don't.
Yeah, can you explain why would you prefer Force 1 or Force 2?
I've tested with both builds, and I like Force 1 a little bit more. Mainly because Force 1 works very nice with Chronojet's Guard Restrict ability.
Yeah.
If you think about Force 2, your Chronojet is stuck to the 33k power.
Yeah.
Plus boost, but plussing boost means your next stage attack will become weak because you didn't boost with it. So you've got a bit of a dilemma there. Whereas if you're going Force 1, you can technically just keep dumping that Force 1 into the middle and eventually they can't go.
Yeah. And you need to actually change your deck up quite a bit to run a Force 2 build as well. They're not the same.
Yes. Force 1, your side columns, if you put a Force 1 there, then your side columns already hit an okay number. Your Nabu, for example, will be 20k. Plus triggers, that will be 30, which is good enough. On the other hand, if you looking at Force 2, then you do need a bit of cards to make sure that your side columns are not just hitting 13 or 18k numbers. So that requires you to change your build a bit. For example, you might have to take out the Irkabs, put in something like Doodoo. Do we have a Doodoo here?
Doodoo's over there.
Yeah, we do.
Under the Zaza.
And I think another popular choice with Force 2 builds is to run Grade 1 Mimine.
Yeah, Mimin, yeah.
which pumps 3 of your units by 5,000. The problem I have with this build is, while it does sound very nice that you are getting 5k for free, what happens when you don't draw it?
You feel bad?
If you don't draw it, then you look at your side columns, then they no longer hit those nice numbers, and the idea of putting pressure with Force 2 kind of disappears if you're not hitting good numbers.
I can see that, yeah.
So I like Force 1 a bit more. I can't really say which one is actually better at the moment. However, I can say Force 1 becomes the definite better build once we have the amazing card that comes out, hopefully sometime in English.
The PR, yeah? The PR.
There was a PR review in Japanese. I don't know the name of the card.
I don't know the name of the card too. We'll find out soon.
That card's amazing. It comes out to the field when you discard it, but you Soul Blast one to call it out, not rest it, so you get an extra attack. And it also puts a card from your drop zone back to the bottom deck. So it actually fulfills the purpose of Quickie. So I think Grade 1 becomes very straightforward.
Yeah.
Once that comes out, you run...
Probably very expensive as well.
Chrono Tooth. How much was it?
Chrono Tooth's like 30 or 40 now? Like, it's ridiculous.
Chrono Tooth, definitely 4. Steam Breath, definitely 4, because again, we only run 4 Grade 3s. We want to make sure that we do get our Grade 3s.
Yeah.
And then 4 of those PRs. It sounds like that's your Grade 1 lineup right there.
Easy lineup. So I guess, interesting with the Force 2 lineup, you're a bit more piece dependent in a way. Like,
I think so. You do need to draw the cards that pumps your field up so that you can have a decent game. And considering, again, going back to the core problem of not drawing Grade 3s to begin with being one of your biggest inconsistency of the deck, I don't particularly like the idea of adding another level of inconsistency, which is why I prefer the Grade 1 build. Not Grade 1, Force 1 build.
Grade 1 build, crazy. Well, I guess another thing that we have to be careful of is, although currently there's not a lot of decks that retire, except maybe for this guy, going into the future, like Silver Dust coming out, that has, Kaguru, something Joker players run, the Monk that binds stuff, so there's more things that can get rid of your stuff, and that means your piece-reliant deck, it's like to generate pressure, like Memones, things like that, start disappearing, and things get worse for you.
And so actually in the future, we did have a couple of test games between ourselves with
Narukami,
and Gear Chronicle, the Force 2 build, and your Mimine sits in the back for 1 turn, it gets pulled up, and it's gone. And then what do you do from there? Your lines become quite weak. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, you have to draw it early and put it behind Vanguard for it to be absolutely safe.
Yeah.
But then it kind of makes your middle column still a bit weak as well, unless you start putting power there.
And also running Mimine makes your Grade 1 lineup a little bit awkward. Going back to the point that you do want to draw it.
Yeah.
I think you want to run at least 3. 2 seems a little bit, again, inconsistent. You might not draw it.
So then you're sacrificing spots elsewhere, like less Grade 2s, or getting rid of like Quickies.
Steam
Breaths.
Yeah. And again, that creates another level of inconsistency.
Yeah. So Force 1, it just seems very, very easy. Easy life, easy game.
I think so. It makes your game a bit more consistent.
Okay, that's good. So last question, right? Japanese tier lists always put Chronofang better than Chronojet. What do you think? Chronojet or Chronofang?
Personally, I like Chronojet more. A bit of a personal bias there. I played Jet way more back then in G. But to be fair, Chronofang wasn't that good of a deck back in the days.
Back in the days. But nowadays...
However, I think Chronofang and Chronojet are both very good decks. I do like Jet a bit more, simply because Chronofang, the way Chronofang plays as a bit of a all-in kind of style, the fact that you are playing with low hand count is always something that I don't exactly like. On the other hand, Chronojet, you don't have to worry about the number of cards in your hand. You can try to draw as much as you like. So that's something I do like a bit more.
Okay.
And if you compare the power level, I would say they are actually quite similar. Fang allows you to win games faster. Jet, on the other hand, requires you to play a bit longer game. But again, I think this is also the part where Force 1 comes into play better. The longer your game goes, the more Force 1 you can put onto your Vanguard circle. And they just can't go out eventually.
Okay. So overall, Chronofang and Chronojet seems pretty similar in power then, I guess. And just in the future with good Protect decks coming out, story could change. But currently, if you've already got a Fang deck, unless you really like Jet, I mean, you're already set for Jet, right? You probably have the Irkabs, and you got your 2.
you got the most expensive cards.
Yeah, the only card that you need from the new set is like Steam Breath Dragon. You're done, right?
Steam Breath, Smoke Gear, and Next Day.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, if you're on Fang, you don't even need.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's even easier. Steam Breath is all you need.
But it's good. If you get the new stuff, you can alternate between the two. Whichever one you prefer, all good. You're set. And then that should be about it, right? So Irkab is a yes cab?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Yes cab. Yes cabs from us. Here he is.